Hello and welcome to the Pickle Jar. My name's Josh and in today's video we're going to be painting a Salamander Captain. Hi guys and welcome back to another Let's Paint episode on the Pickle Jar. This week we're going to be painting a Salamander Captain for my new Space Marine army. This one is in Gravis Armour. I've been waiting to paint this for quite a while. Been really looking forward to getting him done. Really like the miniature. The armour looks fantastic and I really can't wait to get going on the cape on the miniature. I love painting capes, especially in red. So this one has been sort of sat waiting for me to get going in it for quite a while. And whoa, did I have a lot of fun to painting this. Just want to say before we carry on that if you are enjoying the content that we're putting out here on the Pickle Jar, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below and let me know your thoughts, and subscribe if you are new. Now that's out of the way, here we go with the Let's Paint. Now I started off by base coating the miniature in Wraithbone contrast spray. That's because most of the miniature is going to be covered with the contrast paint, and that's why I need to base coat it in that, obviously. I then took the contrast warp lightning green. Now, for those of you that have seen my tutorial on how to paint Salamander armor, you'll recognize the following steps. So I start off with the warp lightning contrast green, give that a nice even covering. Now, I'm being a bit more precise and delicate applying this contrast paint, and that's because the more that I have used this technique, the better at it I have become. And I find that it's easier and it gives a better finish if you take it steady when applying that. Once the green was on from the contrast paint, I then took the black Templar contrast and applied this to all the black areas. So that's the shoulder pads, the backpack. Once that was on, I then took some moot green and started my highlighting process on the green bits of the armour. So I'm watering the moot green down and highlighting the edges, quite a thick edge highlight, and then like sort of fading up where it would be the brightest. Once that was all on, I then mixed in some Ureal Yellow with my moot green for a final edge highlight. Now this is just for the brightest areas, so it's on the very edges of things or on the very raised up areas, just to make it look different from the original contrast green. This has become my favourite way to paint Salamander armour, and personally I really enjoy how it looks. Once that was all done, I then took some Rhinox hide and started to base coat all the areas that were going to be gold. I'm always a bit hit and miss with painting gold. I tend to go either too much one way or the other, so I figured I'll base coat in brown this time. Once that was all on, I then took Balthazar gold and started to apply that to all the gold areas as the base gold. I'd put the brown on because I didn't want it to be too bright, going straight onto the Wraithbone spray. Once that was on, I then took Retributor armour and used this as a highlight and finish off some of the brighter areas on all the gold bits. Once that was all done, I then took Rhinox hide once again and started work on the absolutely beautiful cape on his back. So I'm watering this down. I think I ended up putting 2 or 3 coats on to get a nice even covering in brown first. I then started to mix in Mechrite red with the Rhinox hide and started to, while it was still wet, so I'm doing a little bit of wet blending, started to then highlight from the top down to the bottom, and then each time I went over this I would add in more Mechrite red and paint less of the surface area. So you can see here this is sort of one of the first layers there, where I've mixed in a bit of the red, and I'm not quite covering the entirety of the brown that I painted on the previous. I'm leaving the very deep recessed areas in the original Rhinox hide. but then painting less and less each time so that it highlights it up and it creates a really nice transition from the deepest brown right up to the top highlight layer. So each time I'm just adding in more and more Mechrite red and watering it down so that it's nice and thin, so that it's not too thick and it's not obscuring the blend. Admittedly, when I looked at this at the end, the blend isn't as nice as I would normally like to get on something like this, but I'm still really happy with it, and capes still to this day remain one of my favourite things to paint on any miniature ever, especially in red. Red capes look absolutely fantastic when you do them right. And this is the part of the model that I was looking forward to painting for such a long time. Now, on to something new. So, I've wanted to have a go at doing a bit of a molten sword for quite a while, and this guy was a perfect opportunity to do that. So I took Uriel Yellow, and all I'm doing here is painting in an even covering in the centre of the sword. I then took some Troll Slayer Orange, although you can't really see it on this video, and painted in around the edges. So the entirety of the sword is now painted. Uriel Yellow in the middle, and then the orange around the edge. I then took Evil Sun Scarlet and proceeded to paint that around the edge in an even thinner amount, so that there is you can see it clearly. So it's the yellow, orange, and then red around the edge. And all I'm doing here is sort of feathering the red up the edge to make it uneven. I don't want it to be a nice transition blend, I want it to look sort of fiery and broken up and molten. Then took the Mechrite red and added that up the side as well, just for an even darker layer. Again, just feathering that up and making it uneven and broken and different. Once that was all on, I then took Rhinox hide and then just added some bits around the edges and at the bottom for the darkest part of this, where the metal is sort of, it's the little bits of fragments of metal when you're forging something. So I'm just doing this up the edge and then a little bit into the Mechrite red that's on there, just to finish that off. Once that was done, I then added a little bit of white scar in with my Uriel Yellow, just for a highlight up the middle of the yellow area, just because I felt that this needed to be a touch brighter than it was originally. With that final highlight done, that is the miniature completed. I stuck him on a lava base that I created previously, tidied up a couple of the other little areas, and there he is, all finished. So there you go, guys, that was my full Let's Paint for the Salamander Captain in Gravis Armour. I missed out the bit where I created the base because I've done a couple of tutorial videos for different lava bases. This is different to both of those, but I thought that I've sort of covered lava bases quite a bit. If you would like to see a tutorial for this specific type of base, then please let me know down in the comments and I'll be sure to get that created for you in a couple of weeks. I really enjoyed painting the rest of the miniature. The sword and the cape were definitely the highlights for me of the model in general, but I'm really happy with how the armour turned out. I love painting this green. It's so bright and vibrant and it really stands out on the battlefield. And now we're on to my favourite part of every episode, the Community Spotlight.
Community Spotlight!
Now this week I asked you to submit a model that you had tried something new on. And this submission has come in from Connor, who's given his first attempt at doing edge highlighting. This model looks absolutely fantastic. I love the colours and the highlighting looks brilliant. Well done, Connor. If you'd like to see one of your own miniatures featured here on the Community Spotlight, be sure to send me an email to the email address down below in the description with a copy of the picture that you want shown off, along with a link to your Instagram or Facebook pages if you've got one, and I'll be sure to show them off in a future episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below, let me know your thoughts. And if you're new to the Pickle Jar, then please consider subscribing so you can keep up to date with all the content that we'll be releasing in the future. If you want to get in touch with us, you can reach us on our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages, the links for which are all down below in the description. That's all from me, and I'll see you next week with another video.